All right, guys, good morning from here in Alberta, Canada. Today I want to teach you two new terms, okay? One is a military term and another is a sports term, and they kind of mean the same thing. Okay, so let's start with the military term. All right, so the term is top brass. Top brass. Have you ever heard that? That means the leaders of the military, the people who have the highest positions in the military. Okay, like the generals, all those people with the all the medals on their chest. They wear their general uniform or whatever, and they have all the decorations. They're very decorated general. Okay, if a person in the army is decorated, that means they have a lot of medals on their chest. Okay, so the highest people are called top brass. Okay, so I could say the top brass in the US military are idiots. They're idiots. That's what I think. In fact, I would say, that dog agrees with me, all the top brass in the US military are idiots. In fact, I would say the top brass in the whole Western world are idiots. That's why I always make these doom and gloom predictions about the world. I don't think the Western world has much time left, because every leader of every Western country and all their generals, their military people, they're all idiots. So we don't have much time left, guys. So the top brass in the whole Western world are idiots. Do you agree with me? So so what is brass? Why that word brass? Well, brass is a metal. It's a kind of metal that looks like gold, actually. Okay, so you know when the generals wear they have their medals here, right? And all their achievements, like maybe they're a 4-star general, like Mark Milley in the US. General Mark Milley, I think he's a 4-star general, right? So he's got, his chest is decorated with all these medals, and I guess maybe they're made of brass. I don't know why we use the term top brass. You know the word top, right? So the word brass is a kind of metal that you can make stuff with if you want it to look like gold. It's kind of like poor man's gold, right? If you don't have enough money to buy gold, you could buy a piece of brass and maybe make people believe it's gold, okay? So what's the difference between brass and bronze? There's a question for you. If you're smart, you probably won't know it. The smart people don't know everything, guys. I don't know. Like the word top brass, why do we call it that? I'm just guessing here that the metals maybe are made out of brass. I don't know. Did you think I know everything? I'm just a humble soul, guys. I don't know everything. I just guess sometimes. But I still like to think I'm smart. So if I'm smart, you're smart too. We can both be smart and not know the answer to certain things, right? But I do know that brass, wow, look at that tree, guys. Oh, that's just a bright yellow tree. That is amazing. Hope it looks good in the camera. In real life, that's just shining bright. That is a bright yellow tree. I'm sure it doesn't look that great in my video. And then over here is red. Look at that, a red, green, yellow. Oh, that is incredible. So guys, brass brass and bronze are both metals, and gold is also a metal. Silver is also a metal. Brass is a combination of copper and zinc. Okay, and bronze is a combination of copper and tin, I believe. Okay, so if you take a look, you know what copper is? Copper is the color of a penny. Now, we don't have pennies in Canada anymore. The 1 cent coin was called the penny. We don't have pennies anymore. But copper is kind of like a kind of a mixture between red and brown. Okay, so let's see if I can find a copper color. Okay, so you can see this is look at this red tree here, guys. That is incredible. I would say copper is kind of like the color, let's say, of like kind of maybe like the color of thinking about these leaves, but these are a little bit too red. Okay, like copper is almost like maybe that, but it's a bit more on the copper is a bit more brown. Oh, I think I found I think I see a cup. Well, actually, okay, look at this rock here. Okay, that's kind of like copper. It's kind of like that color. It's kind of the reddish brownish kind of color. And copper is a very common metal. You know, they make pipes out of copper, for example, or different things. Now, in sports, right, you have a gold medal, silver medal, and bronze medal for the 3 places, right? If you win, you get gold. If you get second, you get silver. If you get third, you get the bronze medal. Now, why is it bronze and not brass? I think because if it were brass, it would look too similar to the gold medal, because bronze is more red, brass is more similar to gold. Okay, so they're kind of similar. So there's your metals information. So top brass. Okay, if we're talking about a military, we can use the word top brass. Now, very often in English, we can use idioms, or not. This isn't really an idiom, this is just a term, top brass. Okay, we can use terms from one field and move it to another one. So if we talk about a company, let's say, you could say the top brass in the company to talk about the leaders of the company, like the CEO, all those rich people, right? You can say, oh, they're the top brass in the company. They're the highest, they hold the highest positions in the company. Okay, so this doesn't just need to be for the military, although it came from the military. Okay, so very often terms come from one field of life, maybe a sport or something, and then we use them in other ways, right? So, you know, for example, let's go to the sports idiom, or the sports term. Okay, the sports term I want to teach you today is heavy hitter. Okay, if something or someone is a heavy hitter, that means they're very important, and they carry a lot of their words and everything they say and do carries a lot of weight. Okay, if a person is a heavy hitter, now this could be a person, or it could be a company, or it could be maybe even we could say a country, or anything, right? Whereas with the term top brass, it's just for a person. Okay, top brass means the people at the top brass, right? People in the positions of power. Whereas with this term, heavy hitter, it means a person or maybe a company. I'll give you some examples. Okay, Oh, just before that, I should mention this is a baseball term. Okay, do you know anything about baseball? If you don't know anything about baseball, go on YouTube and just search for baseball and just kind of familiarize yourself with the sport. You know, how do you play it? What's the purpose of the game? How do you win? Guys, let's keep walking. All right, clear sailing up ahead here, guys. Look at that. Got the whole path to myself. That's what I like to see. So, baseball is a game where you hit the ball, right? So the person who's hitting is called the batter, or you could call him the hitter, a heavy hitter. If a person is a heavy hitter, that means they can hit the ball very well and hard, right? Maybe they hit many home runs, right? In baseball, if you hit a home run, you hit it really far, maybe even out of the park, right? So that's why we have the idiom to knock it out of the park, right? Maybe I'll teach that idiom to you. We have a ton of baseball idioms in English. Okay, so a heavy hitter is a person who you know, they are feared by the opposing team, because when the heavy hitter gets up to bat, you need to be careful because he's a good hitter and he's probably going to hit a home run, right? So if we talk about a heavy hitter as a person, it means a person who's very important. All right, who are some important people that you can think of, you know, who carry a lot of weight? Everybody kind of is waiting to hear what they're going to say, right? Maybe the president or the prime minister of your country is a heavy hitter, right? They're a really heavy hitter. Maybe the bosses, maybe the bosses of companies are heavy hitters. There was just the G20 in India. G20, a lot of the heavy hitters in the world were there. The heads of state, right? A head of state means a leader of a country. So heavy hitters. Now we could talk about a company as a heavy hitter. Like, let's say you have a whole bunch of small companies and then there's a big company, and whatever the big company does, I mean, they're pretty big, right? Like you could say Tesla started out as a small company, but now they're a heavy hitter. They're a very heavy hitter, right? They make the world's most popular car. I think the Tesla Model 3 is the most sold vehicle in the world. I think it outdoes even the Toyota Corolla or the RAV4 or what are some common cars in the world? I don't know. You know, they sell a lot. Apparently Model 3, I think it is. Or I think it's the Model 3. I can't remember which one. Teslas are too expensive for a simpleton like me. And a simpleton is a person who's just a simple guy. I can't afford a Tesla. How about you? Can you afford a Tesla? Wow, it'd be great. But so Tesla, the company, is a heavy hitter, right? Or you could say Elon Musk is a heavy hitter. Whatever Elon Musk says, everybody listens to. He carries a lot of power. One of the richest people in the world, right? So he's a heavy hitter. How about you? Are you a heavy hitter? I'm just a lightweight, guys. I'm not a heavy hitter. A lightweight is a person who's just kind of, you know, I think lightweight is I guess that's a fighting term. Like if a person is like a boxer, you have your different weight categories in boxing, right? If you're a heavyweight champion or a lightweight champion, you know, different weight categories. So we could talk about countries as heavyweights, right? What are some countries in the world that are really like are heavy hitters. Is your country a heavy hitter? Think about the world, okay? Which countries in the world are the heaviest hitters? Well, you'd probably think the US of A, Russia, China, India, Brazil, Germany, right? Big countries with big economies, maybe large populations, maybe large land masses. Although I wouldn't really say Canada is a heavy hitter. Canada has the second largest land mass in the world. We're just kind of lightweights. We're not heavy hitters, guys. So the heavy hitters in the world. But you know, the funny thing is that in the United Nations, right? The United Nations is supposed to be an organization of the nations, and it has 5 permanent members of the Security Council. Which 5 countries do you think those are? What do you know? I'll tell you. Okay, the heavy hitters, according to the United Nations Security Council, the heavy hitters are USA, Russia, China, UK, and France. Not India, not Brazil, not Germany, France. So, what do you think India feels about that? India is the largest country in the world by population. They make so many things. They export a lot of people, right? A lot of people in Canada here are from India. You know, they're a big country. Everybody knows about India. It's a superpower, basically. And they're not a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council. So, you know, that was made. The United Nations came into being after the Second World War, right? So things change. The world changes, you know. India has risen a lot since that time. And so, do you think India would like to be a permanent member? Or do you think the UN is just going to kind of like go obsolete, become obsolete? If something is obsolete, it means it's useless. It doesn't serve any purpose anymore. You have all these different world like groups, right? You've got the G20, you got the G7, which used to be the G8 after they kicked Russia out. You've got the BRICS. You've got all these different groups of these like names, and you know, some might rise, some might fall, some become obsolete. I think the UN will probably become obsolete. I don't know. BRICS is doing pretty good these days. They're sitting pretty tight. If someone is sitting tight, that means things are going well. Things are going pretty well, you know. They're sitting pretty tight, I would say. Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and now Saudi Arabia, a bunch of other countries have joined BRICS. Maybe they're going to be maybe they're going to replace the UN. Who knows? What are your thoughts on these things? But anyway, guys, so you could say India is a heavy hitter, even though they're not really a permanent member of the UN. Or you could say, if you're an Indian, you could say, hearing noises around me, guys. Probably my guardian angels, right? I'm thankful God sends his guardian angels to protect me. They always keep me from evil, right? How about you? Do you have any guardian angels? Hope you guys have some guardian angels today. That'd be great. Look at that nice house, guys. Just a massive house. A mansion. How would you like to afford something like that? You'd have to be a heavy hitter to afford something like that, guys. Man. Maybe I'll be a heavy hitter one day. How would you like that? And you could say, I know that guy over at Mad English TV. He's a heavy hitter. He's not just a lightweight. He is a heavy hitter. All right, so guys, I was gonna say, if you're from India, you could say India should have a higher place in the United Nations because we're a heavy hitter. India's a very big country. It's a huge population. They're a heavy hitter, but they're not really, they're kind of underrated as a country, right? If something is underrated, it means it doesn't really get the attention that it deserves, right? So India is a powerful country. They're doing great. They're a heavy hitter, but probably still underrated, right? So, you know, we'll see what happens. But anyway, so I wanted to teach you those two terms. What's a term? A term is just like a word, you know, it's just a specific word for something. So like if we're talking about the military, the top people in the military, if there's a special word to describe that, you can call it a term. That's a term, right? So top brass is a term. Brass is, hey guys, I see a couch over there. Let's see if it's for free. Let's see what it says. There's a little note, I think, on it. Maybe someone's giving it away for free. Looks like a nice leather couch. Wow, it is free, guys. Look at that. Hey, maybe I should just take it home with me. Look at that. It says free. Look at that. Oh, yeah. That is nice, guys. Maybe I could be a heavy hitter with this couch. Wow, look at that. Probably had some cats, kind of tore it up a little bit, but still a nice couch, guys. So top brass and heavy hitter. Let me know, would you rather, do you like the color of brass better or bronze? I like brass, actually. It looks nice. I like bronze too, and silver and gold. I like everything, guys. I'm very easygoing. I like pretty much anything. I like all foods, all countries, all people. I love people from everywhere. You know, that's me. But I'm not top brass yet. Maybe if I get a high position in a company, I'll become top brass. Maybe you are already top brass, so congratulations if you are top brass. And hope you're a heavy hitter. Give me some advice down in the comments for how to become a heavy hitter and how to become top brass. Anyway, guys, that's it for this lesson. Those two terms, sports and military. Remember, sometimes you can take a term from another category and use it in whatever, however you want. Sometimes we can do that. So anyway, with that, hope you guys are doing great. Hope you're staying safe and healthy and happy as always. And I love you so much. And as always, I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.